What's up, friends? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together, talk about what is being built on Bitcoin via stacks, other alpha and news, and pick out high-frequency vibes. I hope you've had a very blessed week up to now, and there's plenty of awesome news going on in our ecosystem. Figured we might be able to take a look at some of this news and potentially help a builder within our space, formulate some ideas on what's next. So got some base chads in the house and some stopping by for a moment. So I'll get right into the news and let's do it. I got some bookmarks for you. So let me pull them up, share my screen with you, come back over here, make sure it's the right size. Yep, I'm little and the news is big, because it is big news. From Leather, and you can follow them at LeatherBTC. Next on the Leather Lounge, we welcome Trey Sellers, VP of Enterprise Sales at Unchanged. Yeah, for a combo on Bitcoin's growing role in personal and institutional finance. Wow, that was rough. And this happened today. Talking about the way I delivered that, I was just not with it on the first one. Let me get warmed up. So the Leather Lounge today with Longstreet and Trey Sellers, right on. Maybe we can read a little bit into what they were talking about in a little bit. And from Zest Protocol, you can follow them at Zest Protocol. Bitcoin is the world's most valuable idle asset. Bitcoin-backed lending can unlock BTC liquidity and become the next trillion-dollar opportunity. Here's how Zest Protocol is leading the way. BTC is most recognized liquid and held cryptocurrency. With a market cap near 2 trillion, Bitcoin often sits idle, but it's prime collateral ready to be put to work. The more liquidity you control, the stronger your edge and access to capital is what defines the winners. Bitcoin backed loans are a $1 trillion opportunity, and it's a winner takes all race. The leader will be a DeFi protocol, and the data is clear. DeFi lending now surpasses CeFi in market share. Wow, look at that. See this graph from CeFi and DeFi lending app market share by a quarter end. So it looks like DeFi is taking over in the lending market. Zest protocol is leading the charge with 500 SBTC, 16% of all SBTC on stacks, deposited in just a few days. Um, Zest already rivals top lending protocols on the Ethereum L2s and Solana in BTC supply. The next step for Zest's growth, Zest went from 0 to 1 on Stacks, and with SBTC supply growing fast, Stacks is on track to become the number one Bitcoin layer by BTC usage. As that happens, Zest SBTC supply will continue to climb and become the central node for Bitcoin DeFi. Very cool. I am helping in the Zest Discord as the community lead. Jump into the Discord if you have any questions. We right now we have the Zest meme coin sprint going on and all sorts of activities going down. And the new activity schedule for May will be dropping tomorrow. So stay tuned. Join the Zest Protocol Discord if you have any questions, and let's help you out. Whoops, didn't mean to get out of my bookmarks. Let me get back over here real quick before you see some Degen stuff on my timeline. From Bitflow Finance, and you can follow them at Bitflow Finance. New pool versus old pool. We've just launched the Bitflow Flex pool. That is STSDX and STX. That pool right there. And it's a big one. More flexibility, stronger yield, and no more LP headaches. Here's what's new. Moving on here. Total liquidity flexibility. Provide any ratio of STX or STSDX or both in one go. No need to balance both sides, just deposit and go. Remove STX and STSDX or both, you decide. So wow, that's really nice. Earn fees automatically, no staking needed. Fees now auto compound directly into your LP position. Set it and stack it. Very nice. Boosted rewards by staking. Want even more STX? Stake your LP to earn 10% APY up to 5 million TVL. Ride the STSDX STX wave with the unique emissions model. Rewards are paid out in LP tokens, compounding your position automatically. Very clever way they've done this. Unstake anytime. You need to exit. You can unstake whenever you want. No lockups. This pool is built for your flexibility. Hence the name Flex Pool. Smarter pricing, better efficiency. The new variable midpoint adapts dynamically. Just tighter pricing, deeper liquidity, and smoother trades. Future-proof with automation. The new pool is fully Bitflow Keeper ready, meaning you'll soon be able to auto-harvest, auto-restake, and optimize your strategy without lifting a finger. Very, very nice. Time to upgrade. If you're still in the old pool, migrate now to unlock smarter rewards, higher yield, way better flow. Last wave of this thread. Wow, yeah, this flexible stuff has got me pretty bullish. I really like that you can stake STX or STX individually. It doesn't matter what amount you have. You no longer have to match them up to participate in the liquidity pool, which is phenomenal. Yeah, very cool. Moving on from Stacking DAO, and you can follow them at Stacking DAO. Stacking rewards won't be paid out 288 blocks before the end of the cycle as usual. Well, why? Let's just say something new is on the horizon, and daily rewards might be part of it. What? Daily rewards for stacking? Get out of here. Very, very cool stuff. I've already liked and retweeted that. Be sure to follow them. Jump into the Stacking DAO Discord. I am also community lead over there, and I have the activity schedule for Stacking DAO coming out tomorrow as well. So get into it. We play poker. We play Pokemon tournaments. All you name it. We're finding games to play and having fun over there. So get in there. Plenty of prizes to win. Let's have a good time. And again, from Stacking DAO Spotlight. This time, we will explore stacking DAO community growth and milestones on Stacks. Uh, let's start with some impressive community-focused achievements in the last 12 months. 80K plus Twitter followers gained. Large user presence from South Korea, North and South America, and Europe. Stacking DAO is rapidly gaining awareness and adoption across the globe. Instead, regarding Twitter and X data and engagement metrics, 80,000 followers or 80,000 plus followers, 5 million plus impressions, 120K likes, and 12% engagement rate in the last 12 months. Wow, freaking awesome. What about the geographic distribution of stacking DAO users? As of early Q4 2024, nearly 50% of users were from South Korea, North Korea, and South America, and Europe. This highlights a strong presence in regions that drive a significant share of global crypto trading volume. How was Stacking DAO able to achieve these growth objectives? Strategic partnerships across multiple verticals, e.g., like example, wallet, DeFi, validators, etc., and various initiatives have driven the protocol's rapid expansion. Let's explore a few examples. The Stacking DAO Signer program onboarded top-tier enterprise-grade validators on Stacks, sharing updates, interviews, and collaborations between Stacking DAO and signers, along with their amplification and significantly boosted awareness. Very cool. Stacking DAO's early focus was integrating SDSDX into as many DeFi apps and wallets as possible. By enhancing accessibility and expanding its utility within DeFi protocols, SDSDX gives users a strong incentive to adopt liquid stacking. Maximizing Stacking DAO's visibility is key to broad distribution. To achieve this, Stacking DAO launched an internal Stacks-focused ambassador program and collaborated on ads with SDX Tools and Signal 21. In conclusion, community data clearly highlights Stacking DAO's rapid adoption. Most importantly, Stacking DAO's initiatives have played a key role in expanding protocol awareness. Stay tuned for the next Stacking DAO Spotlight. Very cool stuff. Love getting to work with these guys, man, and I do participate in stacking pools on Stacking DAO. Go get you some. This was the big news of the day. Let me clear my throat for it. Sui is integrating Stacks and SBTC into its ecosystem. With SBTC, Sui Network gains access to decentralized, secure, and programmable Bitcoin asset. Integrations like this are making Stacks and SBTC a growing hub for the Bitcoin economy. Can't speak today, jeez. Stacks and SBTC are taking over device crypto conferences from Token 2049 and Staking Summit to Sui Basecamp. The Stacks ecosystem is showing the world how it's unlocking BTC liquidity and activating the Bitcoin economy. And we might take a look at the events and topics below later on. But Base Munib in the house, look at this guy. Look at his stance. Confident. Base Munib. From Cointelegraph, the blockchain group Europe's first Bitcoin. Got lost here. The blockchain group's Europe's first Bitcoin treasury company aims to acquire 260,000 BTC. That's approximately $24 billion by 2033. That's a lot of Bitcoin. Go ahead, Europe. Do your thing. Bullish. Morgan Stanley plans to add Bitcoin and crypto trading for E-Trade clients for Bloomberg. Freight Technologies secures up to $20 million to build an official Trump token treasury, making it one of the first public companies to adopt Trump as a key digital asset. Reports strategy MSTR is up 3,000% since adopting the Bitcoin standard. Ethereum has ended April down 1.58%. ETH extended its negative growth streak to 5 consecutive months. Not surprised. Cheaper, better, faster, more secure options. Tether has announced they brought in $1 billion of profit in Q1 and 2025. That's a lot of profit. Justin, a new statue honoring Satoshi Nakamoto has been unveiled in Fornelli, Italy. These are popping out everywhere, so that's pretty cool. Another one. We don't have to cover that. Solana led all blockchains in revenue generation for Q1 2025. 7 trillion AUM, Charles Schwab. CEO says firm will offer spot crypto trading within 12 months. 21 shares files for a spot SUI ETF with the SEC. And this is the last one. Update: total crypto market cap reclaims 3 trillion. Very, very cool stuff. Yeah, awesome stuff going on in the space. I got some base chads in the house. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let's bring them on. Sorry, guys. I wanted to speed through the news because I got some base chads in the house. I hope you don't mind. We got Rosar in the house, and we have the legend Jack Bin Switch also with us. Welcome, fellas. How are we doing today?
Hey,
Yeah, all right.
Doing good.
I could not speak in that segment today. I don't know what it is.
Well, you probably say about 100,000 words a week, so or more, right?
There is
so
that.
You're gonna have some down days. It's okay.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it, man. So this SUI news, pretty big stuff, right? So are they going to become a signer for the network as well? Do you think they will?
I don't know. I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it. There's SBTC going on a bigger network, giving some exposure to the Stacks ecosystem to a much larger crowd, and kind of adding validity to what we believe about SBTC being a superior wrapped Bitcoin asset. And then like the counterpoint you hear is, so what? Like, why should we build this awesome stuff here that people on other blockchains are just going to use? And we probably won't get, as many people here. And
well,
you
have to use the network to pay out to native BTC, don't you?
Yeah, you would think, right? But I don't know if it just means it's a bridge, right? If it's just going to be a bridge and or not. I tend to be a little more bullish on it than not, right? Like you want to see SBTC get adopted, and we'll see how it goes. It'll probably be somewhere around the middle. I think that it also, conversely, it gives the community a good chance, the Stacks community, to also be exposed to the SUI ecosystem, and gives you an easy way to, get involved if there's something cool over there, right? So, I mean, I think overall it's bullish. I think that it's a good thing, for validation alone. But I think that we'll also, I think we're going to see SBC get used a lot, and I don't see how that can't be good for Stacks.
Yeah, we send our killers over to the other network to go trade with you, SBTC, right? Like our traders that trade here, and then go like take that SBTC like profit back into SBTC, bring it back to the ecosystem. We just send our killers over and just go smashing it. There's some serious traders in our ecosystem, man. Wolf is a good trade. Like he's one of those guys. Jacob, he's a trader.
So if they, if the other part about it too is if SUI makes DeFi protocols around SBTC, maybe we have better deals over here, right? Where we attract people, or maybe they have. You see what I'm saying? So competition's always a good thing as well at the protocol level. So I like, again, we'll see how it goes.
I think it's bullish. That's how I'm feeling like about it. Whenever I read that Sol was going to have some SBTC in their ecosystem, what else? Was it Aptos? It was another one that was either a signer or had SBTC planned to be in their ecosystem. It's just going to keep happening, and it's like kind of validating that conversation we had before SBTC was even here, that Stacks would be the link to Bitcoin. Like that's the way people are going to get access to Bitcoin, is having our decentralized version of a wrapped Bitcoin asset in their ecosystem, right? So Yeah, big stuff. Rosar, did you have any thoughts on this SWE listing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's bullish for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what's Sui's market cap?
They're
I
like
think
number
it,
12.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, like, I think everyone who's in stacks now is not going anywhere. So the only thing that could really happen from working with them is like some liquidity comes to our chain. Um, SIP10 gets better adoption. Yeah, I mean, I don't
And
see how this could not be a good thing. Like, I think at the very least, and probably the most important thing, is we're just gonna get more brand recognition. Like, Stacks is kind of like the nerdy kid, and Sui's like one of the more popular kids. And by like hanging out with him now, we're getting some street cred with all the
I
other cool
love
kids.
that. Weird. I love that
you know,
analogy.
Stacks is like the goth girl, when she's young. And then like
Yeah,
a few years later, she's stacked.
Gotta love
yeah,
them
it's
goth.
like
It's sad.
Got the choker. You know what I mean?
But yeah, and that's what I said on the campfire space this morning, was that Stacks isn't EVM. So we're sitting here, we're operating with clarity, and it makes it a little more difficult to really get Stacks out there. So by being on a bigger chain, that does act as another funnel to get people here, because that is one of the things we do need, right? Even we have like protocol, they're going to be working with all the different L2s, trying to get make it easy to operate in between L2s. And so that's another way that it's good, like Rosar said, is it's another bridge into Stacks, from a larger ecosystem.
Can't hurt. Can't hurt. That's for sure. There's plenty of like, so another thing that I was bragging on, I've been bragging on for the last couple of days, was Crypto Dude's Boost X being in the background of Munib talking whenever like it had all the apps just like behind his head on the screen. Like I pulled it up several times and bragged on it. Like so it's like one of them moments, man. Like the guys getting recognition makes me feel so good about what we're doing over here, because like the core builders are paying attention now. Like they're paying attention and in tune, and then understand that we need more builders and or ways to help the builders here. So I mean it's good. It's good. Everything is trending in the right direction, including like numbers. Like where's Stacks sitting at right now? Stacks was last time I checked it was like doing pretty good today. Yeah, it was like up 3% on the day. Bitcoin looking nice, up to above 96K, looking like it's on a breakout. I'm feeling good, dude. I'm feeling really good about like the direction we're headed. I don't think that we're just gonna reverse and go back down, but it's possible. Like one shocking candle to the bottom, like to like a liquidation wick or some shit, like some news event that they use as an excuse, right, to liquidate everybody before they send it higher. Who knows? Nobody knows really. But I think I think we're at that part of the cycle, dude, where all is well.
I know one thing. If you looked at like a list of Stacks apps from like 2 years ago, there just weren't that many. So I mean, you see a massive amount of growth, and that's always super bullish. And I mean, there's other teams working on things right now, that aren't in the spotlight yet, and because they're being built. I mean, I remember when Bitflow was still being built, right? Like I remember before Stacking DAO was a concept. So how many of these type of things do we have being incubated and worked on right now that are going to be ready, in the near future? Plenty. So that app list is going to get much bigger, right? So that's mega bullish. And
STX app season.
yeah, that's mega bullish, because there's a lot being worked on, and good stuff takes time. And then you have, even when you're building in the open, And look how much BoostX has changed in a relatively short amount of time. Look how much Blaze protocols changed in a relatively short amount of time, right? So these things continue to innovate, and we'll have more things, from these different protocols, and then built around these protocols as Stacks continues to grow. When I first got here, I was like, "Oh, Stacks is the Ethereum on Bitcoin. That's Stacks is. That's what it feels like that. It feels like that again right now. That's really that's really the goal, and that's the direction we're headed."
Base take. I do believe that is what got a lot of people believing in Stacks. Was like, hey, this is Ethereum on Bitcoin, right? And speaking of apps, Rosar had some cool stuff to say on the morning show this morning about multi hops being done with Blaze, right? So Rosar, I didn't know. Like, did you maybe want to like talk a little bit about that and like what's your thought process and what you're working on, what you're trying to work through, or where you're at with it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we can talk about that. We can also talk about the UI UX stuff I was talking about earlier, but I'll start with the status of it.
Cool.
Since people may not be up to speed.
Yeah, just like let them know what Blaze is. Like, if they approach it as if they don't even know,
Yeah. So for the last few months, I've been working on this scaling solution for Bitcoin. It's built on Stacks. It's called Blaze. You can think of it like a layer on top of Stacks that you can use for instant transactions and doing a lot of things that are really hard to do on Stacks. Like, it's in the same way that like people use Stacks because you can do a lot of things on Stacks you can't do on Bitcoin because it's less expressive, or Bitcoin's less expressive than Stacks. Blaze is the same sort of paradigm where you can basically do anything you want on Blaze because it's more expressive than Stacks. But that's because you're doing compute off chain, like you're scaling off chain, you're doing these off chain signatures, and instead of having to write like smart contracts for every single thing you want to happen, you can do a blend of smart contracts and just like regular old like Web 2 app development, and then you use digital signatures to like connect the two. So you'll have like contracts that say like messages signed with this message can do this stuff, and then you create these things off chain, and then you can just use traditional engineering tools and settle those transactions later.
What's one of the use cases to being able to sign this signature or put these signatures, like batching transactions together? Like, what's
I think it's a good idea to talk about it. Let's talk about it in terms of like, what does this unlock? What can you do with it? So I think like two obvious ones are like something like dollar cost averaging. Like when you're like, I want to have a buy go in and every day at noon. That's not easy on blockchain because it's easy to make one transaction. Like now you sign a transaction and send it, but it's hard to make many because you're not there to sign off this second transaction that happens at noon when you're not there, you're at lunch or something. You're basically having to give someone else access to your funds, and then there's two things: either you're giving them access to your funds and then they're doing it all, like on their own with like a timer,
putting trust into a trust system,
or you're somehow sharing like a private key, or like they have a hosted wallet for you, and then you're kind of running out of that. Basically, like you're extending a lot of trust. And the way Blaze tackles this is you create signatures. Like you can create imagine you have like a checkbook. You can just like write checks and then sign them, and then you can like write like 20 checks at once, and then instantly, and then send them to them, and they're like, okay, you can cash one every day for the next 20 days. And that's effectively how it works. So then it's just all they gotta do is just like submit these signed transactions to the chain every day at noon, and they're like very limited in scope. They can only do one thing. They can only do one buy, and that's why the multi-hop swaps off chain that I got working last night are very important, Because every time you do one of these buys, you don't want to just be like stacks to roux. You want to do stacks multi-hop to roux. You know, you want to go like, if there's a path where you can get a good deal going, like stacks to ST stacks to USDC to roux, and it's a better deal, obviously you want to do that. So there's really no point to do any trading at all until you have good multi-hops working, is my perspective. So that's why I had to get multi-hops working.
It's awesome that you got to experiment a little bit with it and that you brought it here tonight to get some feedback about how you think the UI and the user experience should go. Did you want to show your screen and then kind of see where you were, like show us where you were at, like with like your idea user experience, what should be like?
Let's take a look.
Because I think that would be cool. And then maybe we could even ask like, hey, like guys, you got to see it here. Maybe gives me some feedback and I can make it happen. Like, how would you like to see it happen? Right. So
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Like in most dexes, or in some dexes, when you can do multi-chain trading, you know, sometimes, like for instance, let's think about Alex. I think there's like a little tab for like
you think
Bitcoin
you can zoom
and stacks.
Yeah, like zoom in just a little. Yeah,
get a little closer.
There we go. Cool. I think that'll work.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think about how to handle like multi-chain operations, because I've always been of the opinion that I don't really care what chain it's on. Like, and like, I think it's arguably confusing to people who don't understand chain. So I'm trying to chain abstract basically, but I'm trying to think how far can I chain abstract without it becoming like restrictive and confusing. So let's say you want to go like from stacks to charisma here. Charisma's could be in two places. It can be like on chain, like in your wallet normally, or it can be in a subnet, and you can transfer between the two of them for free. So like it costs nothing. It's just like a deposit or withdrawal, and then there's no fee associated with it. So from my perspective, like it could be in either places. It doesn't really matter as long as the system is set up to like look at both and be able to like route your funds correctly. And that's basically what Blaze is. It's like knowing you have both balances and being able to deal with that. So I'm trying to avoid in every way having to have like Charisma and Charisma subnet or like have like a toggle. But there may be use cases in which you want to like resolve on one or the other. So I'm just trying to think about like what's the ideal user experience here.
So the problem that you're faced with is like, okay, I have these multi-hops, but getting like hiding away, like how much of that do you hide away or simplify there so you can have transparency to prove that people got the best deal, right? Because you still kind of need that information. How do you make it done? Right?
Well, the thing is like I want to abstract subnets, chains, all this sort of stuff. Like I just want one token to be one token no matter where it is. I'm trying to avoid a scenario where someone swaps from like stacks to charisma and the last swap goes to the subnet and then they don't know what that is and they're like, why is it not in my wallet? But and like I can show their balance here, but they might like move to another app immediately after and be like, where is it? Where'd it go?
Maybe a prompt that says, hey, this token went to subnet.
Yeah, like, I think maybe
the inbox that you click.
I think maybe here it looks the same, but possibly here I like make note of it and like maybe have like an option to, I don't know if you didn't want to do this, it would kind of change the whole route. But maybe yeah, I don't know.
I think in that final box, I think you're onto something. That's probably
some sort of event setting thing here.
Yeah, because that way you're showing them all the information you want them to see anyway, and then you're adding that other piece.
Yeah, I think that's probably what makes the most sense. Because like last thing I want to do is have like someone coming in, they're like, I want to buy something, and then we're throwing all this like underlying like infrastructure jargon at them and making them make decisions. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't understand.
What's the difference? Like, like, how do I know which one to pick?
Or not even that. They don't even click because
they just fall off.
Yeah. So
They do not convert.
I agree with Jack, like the way that you have it set up, and then we also looked at kind of like the stacking DAO right before we went live, like how they got it set up, like showing each different pool, like instead of the pools like STSDX, STSDX, BTC, native stacking pool, you can have it where like it's like this route, you want it to land here, here, or here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're on the right track. It's all about like making it clear, concise to the newcomer. And how do you do that without explaining Blaze?
Yeah, you always have to like, make it so the left curve can use it, right? And then,
Yeah.
just make it work so the right curve understands it,
Okay. All right. But we're like, at the very least, we're all on board with chain abstraction, right? Like, we don't want to have these toggles and things and like having to specifically choose, like,
I think abstraction's the name of the game right now anyway.
Yeah. Like, I would even go far to say, and like I kind of wish like Bitcoin Stacks wallets would just show like Bitcoin, and like it would like combine your Bitcoin and SBTC, and then like you could click on it and like get like a drop down of like, here's your breakdown of like bridge BTCs and like L1 BTCs.
I had a conversation about that with Rafa. He was talking about his UI a little bit back fun, and I was like, well, what if you, like, because on Fact Fund it just says BTC, it doesn't say SBTC or anything like that to get a seat on the new bonding curve mechanism for he's created.
Yeah, I like that.
But there's a price difference there still, is there not? No, because like you're earning a certain percent of yield on that SBTC that's like not, it's not baked in yet. Like people are like, it's selling at a premium because of the yield that you get for bridging your BTC over. Unless I haven't looked at the difference between prices in a while, actually.
I agree, and I think that's exactly why we should do chain abstraction. Because if you don't care where it is, the system should just like manage it and give you like the best thing. Like you drop down that little toggle and you get a breakdown, and then there's like a little prompt like you could earn 1% or 5% yield if you move more of it to SBTC. So like stuff like that. So it's like you don't really think about it. All these like decisions on like maximizing your bags, but like kind of does it under the hood.
I like that idea of like upon like you scroll over it, like maybe it lets you know, hey, this is BTC but with 5% yield on it because it's in the Stacks network. Not even like differentiating it from BTC at all. But yeah, there's gives and takes to that too. So it's about finding a fine balance, like
exactly. Which is why I'm having this conversation, because I'm dealing with the same problem. It's like striking that balance, and I think this is some sort of where that information belongs, like a drop down sort of menu where it's like advanced details for the advanced users.
There you go. Like advanced details is not a toggle; it's a drop down, and a lot of places use advanced. Like, hey, here's advanced. That's a normal UI that Jack was saying, like the right curve would be used to. Like they might click that box, and then the left curve, unless I got it completely backwards just now, and then the left curve doesn't even click, right? So
dude, they got people bidding something called Chill House. Well, I guess it's on Solana to the moon right now, right? Like people are just gonna click, and if you save them money, that's gonna be good enough for most.
Yeah, I would imagine like even if the tokens do move to a subnet, if like that's where they're, like for Charisma, it's not like you can put it on like Stacking DAO or anything. But if there's lots of apps to use Charisma on a subnet, then like people would probably prefer that anyway. So, and then alternatively, like the apps that use things on the subnet, we could just implement the same process where it's like, you could start from on-chain or off-chain, and it just sort of knows like, or not on-chain or off-chain, but subnet or just like normal SIP10 to like what's the word for it? Just like deposit you in or load you up or like shift you in as like a pre-step. I don't know. Like I can kind of show you what I mean by that. All right, window. You're gonna give me what I want. Meme roulette. Yeah, so on this one I have just like some buttons up here, like load up, which is a little swapper.
What is this?
This is meme roulette. Been working on this in stealth, sort of. And then this is like a little deposit button to just move from like mainnet Charisma to subnet Charisma.
Is this some alpha?
I guess so. Yeah, I haven't really spoken about it.
Rosar's just gonna like slip in Jack. He's just gonna slip in alpha. And like, I've just been building this, you know.
Yeah, Rosar's always building, man. Like that's Rosar is mostly machine at this point. You know, I'm not convinced he doesn't have a Neuralink already.
Yeah, I built this last weekend, and then
in a weekend. Okay.
Because I don't know, I'd like basically, so it's like it's sort of like a bonding curve, but not really.
Gotcha.
The way it works is there's these like rounds. Right now they're 5 minutes, just because it's not done yet. So I just want to go fast. People can kind of get the idea.
No, I got you.
But there's 5 minutes, or there's time in a round, and then you just use you like commit a token. So like, and then you commit to buying a token. So you just like pick one, you know, whatever one you want. Like, you know, let's say, just say you do this Belgian Mel noise or whatever it is. Then you just like make a buy commitment like that, you know, and submit it. I think I don't have 100. Hang on, I only have 10. So just do that. Okay. And then like everyone does this until time runs out. And then it's in fake money mode, so I can just do more.
Gotcha.
So we'll do a bunch of these real quick. A little hooter. Okay, so then everyone does it until it runs out, and then there's like a leaderboard, and then there's like a roulette spinning wheel thing, and it just randomly picks one based on the percentage share. So like everyone votes, you know, say one thing has like 80% of all the votes, it'll have 80% chance to win the spin or the random selection process. And then everyone who committed Charisma tokens, it automatically does like a off-chain multi-hop swap, and just everyone buys the one token that won at the same time, more or less. Like they're like rapidly after each other. I think I'm between doing it in the order people voted and randomizing it. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, that's basically it. It just repeats over and over again, and I think it's funny, and it's a good way to like just stimulate liquidity into tokens that already exist instead of creating new ones. Yeah, and this is I think a really good use case for Blaze, because when you're creating these votes, you're signing these intents, and the server just holds them until the round ends, and it just replays them all at the same time. So it's like I don't know, it's a cool way to do it.
It's a cool way to get tokens.
Yeah, to like fundraise. It's like a sort of like a fundraising meets consensus meets gambling meets meme coins sort of application. Yeah.
You know, I think that what would be fun is if you did a version of this with BoostX, and you just like, because you could use it socially, right, on X, where, you know, you could even have a bot like a STX, you know, pump bot or something. I don't know. There's something here that could be really cool to integrate a social component to.
Yeah. I definitely think a social component could help with this one, since it's effectively like a party game sort of structure. But what I want to do is, like, once it's all working, like get this up to like 1 week or 2 weeks or something, and just really see like how big we can get it.
I think
how hilarious would that be?
Cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think, like, you know, you just I think this needs to be unleashed on the world via BoostX, and people can watch. You can watch a Twitter account in real time post about what's going to be, which one's going to get pumped or what have you. I don't know. It changes the game. I'm sure there's ways that people would try to game it further in a not so positive way, but I think it'd be fun as hell.
Yeah, dude. And is this kind of like where King of the Hill with you like transformed into that idea for King of the Hill?
I mean, I'm just trying everything. Like, there's some similarities. I did think of King of the Hill briefly. I mean, this is different in that people are actually committing funds. King of the Hill was just purely rewards being minted, so not as generous, but probably more sustainable.
That's so damn cool, dude. I love that you're not only building the protocol, but building just use cases on use cases on use cases. And look at the UI on this thing, man. Come on now, you know how to do good UI.
And you do this in conjunction with prediction markets too, and you just make it degen as hell.
Yeah, that's fun with it,
dude. It's like supposed to be like fun, flashy. Like add some sound effects to it. Like let the people feel immersed while they're like using Blaze. And
I try to make each site sort of styled like its target users might like. Like this is more of a game, so it's sort of gamey and feels more like fun. Like it's using more of like a fun font. But then like other ones, like the swap's a little more. It's like wearing more of a collared shirt now. Cleaned it up a little bit because I would like people to use it other than degens. I feel like I get written off by Stacks a lot because I'm just smaller decks. I don't know, like I kind of have like a weirder, more relaxed, gamey style to it, but I'd like to change that perspective a little bit for at least some of the DeFi things.
It has to be like that.
Yeah.
You have to have. You have to have it fun. Like it can't all just be button-down collar shirts with ties. Not everything's institutional DeFi. Like retail needs stuff for retail.
That's kind of a big reason why I split up Charisma into all these like mini apps, because it's tough to have one brand for like so many different things that have so many different users, like target users. So like different user groups. Like some stuff's for degens, some stuff's for everybody, some stuff's for like right curve people who are like trying to
those
invest.
game sites. Those game sites that just have like game after game. You go to them and it has this game, that game, that game,
like
that game.
Bombs World or something.
There you go, like that. You can click on Bombs World. You can play Tetris. You could play Angry Birds. You could play like any game. That's what I imagine. Like Blaze will have like a list of its own apps and games, right?
Like a app store, Blaze. Marketplace, something. I'd like to get there, but I need more people building apps. Like those, I can't. It takes a long time to build one app, much less a marketplace. So
I know.
And that's so okay. So if you look at Zest, for instance, that's why I've been, like on my X page being like, hey, I just borrowed this from Zest and now I'm buying this token or what have you, because I feel like people who use Stacking DAO and Zest, it's great, but like if you're just like a small fish or you're someone who's new and you just have exposure to memes mostly, you can also use protocols like that to help build your meme portfolio. You can do that well. That's what was so brilliant about the meme coin sprint, right? In the Zest Discord, because you need this kind of stuff. And then the other thing I saw that was really cool earlier is how they're going to use that Satoshi agent token to kind of like, they're figuring out, hey, like, let's pivot away from this idea of like, you can basically talk to Satoshi to, hey, let's make this thing really useful for people who are trading or people who want to find the best rates or the best yield or what have you.
Yeah.
And, so why not just continue to look at things more holistically as yes, you have people that are going to very seriously use DeFi, and you have people who are going to degen, and degens need stuff too, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I was just reading through their post on that today. It looks. I was thinking. I mean, I was sort of slowly working on something similar. It's not a huge priority, but so there's like the swap app. You know, I've shown you guys that. We were looking at it before, but I'm splitting up swaps and like pooling and like liquidity management and all that, because my theory is it's just totally two different user groups, like user bases. Like the people who swap are not really the people. I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of people who swap, but there's a subset of people who actually like do LP
Right.
and farm and all that stuff. So I'm splitting off like LP management into its own thing, and I'm just turning it into like a yield optimizer, yield generation sort of automation mini app, I guess. Still figuring out like the language around it, but yeah, like it's gonna be for things like, you know, like the dollar cost averaging stuff, you know, like multi-step sort of blaze things where it's like, I want to buy this when it drops, and then, you know, swap into this other token when it raises to a certain point. Like have these sort of more complex strategies that you can do here, because you can't do that like on the swap interface. And I don't want to be like like tinkering with the swap interface. Like I don't want to I just want it to work. I don't want to be touching it much. You know, if it works, it works. That's another reason why I split things up, because it's like when you got all your apps living in like one thing, it's very easy to like make changes to one thing and something else breaks. So trying to leave swaps just be swaps and then have more complex stuff happening elsewhere. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking along the same lines. I wish people collaborated more in Stacks. I feel like there's so many people kind of building the same things, but it feels like no one ever tries to work together. I don't know why that is.
Well, they do, and then they don't, right? Like they use like their space and time to collaborate and push their own ideas forward, but they don't work on the same thing. Like we had all the builders build, it'd be crazy good, and things would like move at a very fast, like rapid pace. I agree.
Yeah.
It would be cool, but they like collaborate as far as in like build on the same thing. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, just like work
See
together,
that.
build something together. I feel like I've tried to get people to do that. It's tough. It's like I've many times been like, hey, like I need someone to work on this project, or does anyone want to own this project, or does someone like want to take over one of these projects, or like work on me with things? And I didn't really get a lot of. I don't know. It's probably just because like Twitter,
I've heard
the message
this.
is there and then it goes away in a day. So maybe it's something just forum for like.
I think
I've
part
heard
of
this.
it is devs
Oh, go
are
ahead,
kind of like where devs working together are kind of like cats.
Yeah, that is also 100% true.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming, dude. I just knew it. I knew it because I was like, am I gonna? I heard from somebody that devs were like trying to herd cats, and like
Yeah.
Jack just nails it, dude. Yeah, it's like dude.
It's true though. Like devs generally like to like do things their own way, and like, you know, at the cost of making things harder on themselves.
But
I'm not excluded from that.
I think that this is where something like Zero Authority DAO could be giga bullish, especially if you have like an investment DAO that's also operating. So, you know, investment DAO is basically like, you know, a bunch of people raise some money. This is what we want built. Let's go put the project on Zero Authority and break it into pieces. And then you wind up having collaboration that's decentralized, right? And I know that's not perfect, you know, because the pieces have to fit together in a way, but I think that's a way to kind of streamline that and then solve the smaller problem of making it perfect, where the larger part is actually just getting people to harness their talents and work on one thing and then move to another one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something like that. But yeah, like I've noticed that over the years in the space is you know, it's hard to get two devs to just like collab real well on something, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Well, while we're here and talking about it, I'll just say like Satoshi. What is it? Satoshi AI team? Is that it? Is that the
Yeah.
team?
Yes, Satoshi.
Yeah, guys. If you guys want to collaborate on this yield optimizing stuff, hit me up.
It's out there.
I think it would be cool, like especially as we start seeing, you know,
oh shit, we got Wagner in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Blaze is uniquely positioned to actually like really kill it in that space because it's like you can do things like I don't know. It's just really really good at exactly that. I don't know how else to put it.
Welcome, Wagner.
Was it Waggy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Well, two of the main Welshies in the house. What's up, guys?
Hey,
Supporting the old Avatar, the OG Welsh NFT.
That's what I'm saying. I'm happy Welshies. Go get you one on gamma.io. Solid. What's up, man? What we got going on tonight?
Oh, for me, just hopping space to space and listening. There's so much news like everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But it's like that scene. I posted it before on Twister, the calm before the storm, where he like goes and grabs some of the dirt and he's seeing which way the wind's going. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like too, don't it?
Yep.
Bitcoin kind of breaking out a little bit, like going a little bit higher than its range that it's been in for what, months, you know? So the calm before the storm.
Yeah, the big thing there that I've been watching is all the states. Like we have, who is it? Arizona has 2 that are on the governor's desk now, and then New Hampshire, I want to say, just got out of committee, which is like the step before I think it goes to the governor's desk, and a lot of other states are getting really, really close to those last kind of steps, I believe. And then there's potential for rate cuts next week as well. I heard.
Oh,
So
dude.
Potential.
They better get on the ball because did y'all see MicroStrategy's buying another $84 billion worth of Bitcoin? Like,
Yeah.
there just ain't going to be any
big
left.
ass number.
You know,
Yep.
he's raising for $84 billion.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not smart enough to know the second and third order effects of where this could all go wrong, right? I just don't like it. I know that.
Yeah.
Perfect breakdown from the legend himself. Let's go. It's
Yeah,
like,
we all don't like monopolies, and
Right.
that's like the if there is a concern that I have about that is definitely like all the hoarding. That's how a lot of those organizations, I imagine, the monopolies we consider today probably started back then with some type of resource. Be interesting.
yeah, I think that we had this conversation, right? Well, on the morning show with Melanie, she was talking about how like it kind of goes against the Bitcoin ethos that now you have all of these big players kind of accumulating so much Bitcoin that now they kind of control like price action, kind of controlling like the game, So
And that's what I think is so insidious about the store of value narrative. Because if you do not use Bitcoin, then miners don't get paid. Then all of these companies that own billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin will just mine at a loss. And now you've got a problem. Bitcoin's got a big problem if there's no miners, except the ones that are owned by nation states, central banks, and giant corporations.
I think it goes from the point to where like they buy a bunch of Bitcoin and then like, do you think they ever get into mining? Like, are they already into mining? Like what's that look like? Do states get into, like, I've seen a couple like, hey, that we're using excess. Who is it? There's one of these. It's not a state. It's a country somewhere. They're using some sort, and this is super vague. Forgive me. Some sort of energy to mine. I think it was Bhutan was using volcanic energy or something like that to mine Bitcoin.
El Salvador.
Yeah,
There
El
you go.
Salvador. But
Yep.
still, like, mining is great. Everybody should mine. The more decentralized the mining, the better. But if mining's not profitable, then you've just eliminated a lot of prospective miners. And as you know, the halving reduces the amount of Bitcoin that is produced each block. You have to make up for that to cover the cost of mining in transaction fees, so the miners can get paid. So that's why I don't like seeing this hoarding, and I don't like seeing this. Bitcoin is a store of value. Bitcoin is a store of value. Hold your Bitcoin. Hold your Bitcoin. Hold your Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin's got to be used. It has to be used. That is its actual value proposition. You know, if I want to send you $10 right now, Giga Peppy, and I use my debit card, you'll get it, but that payment won't be processed for days, right? On the back end, it's taking several days. If I send you $10 in Bitcoin, you're getting it in 10 minutes. If I send you $10 in SBTC, you're getting it in a few seconds, right? That's the value proposition.
And now you can send it with your writer.
Right.
Oh, look at you flexing. Look at you flexing over here.
Yeah.
Very nice, very sleek writer. Dude, that is so sick, dude. Your unboxing video was like pristine too, man. It was a really good unboxing video. Had the setup, you make really good content. You know, your memes are good, your videos are good. What do you use, man?
Oh, I just do it as usually I'm rushing through it. You know, for the videos and stuff, I just use, I think the old product name was Movie Maker by Microsoft, but it's called Clipchamp now.
I use Clipchamp too, dude.
Yeah. The only thing that, because I love all the memes and stuff, like a lot of the OGs out there, like Naive is one of the OGs that has made awesome Bitcoin memes. I still haven't figured out how to actually make the images follow people in the video. I don't know if that's AI or something that people are using, or just a certain type of feature, but yeah, usually the unboxing video, I just make sure and record everything, but then try to record it from several angles, and then it's just a matter of snipping things. So, and find some catchy elevator music.
You know what you're doing, man. It comes pretty good. It comes together pretty good. So from Claire Sierran Dylan, many countries mine BTC. By the way, El Salvador uses volcanic energy. Bhutan uses hydro. America mines. China mines. So yeah, a lot of people, a lot of different countries mining.
No, that's great. My point is, you don't want mining to be unprofitable for the individual or the private business to not be able to do it. Where only a country can do it, only a central bank can do it, only a giant corporation can do it because they can eat the loss. If Bitcoin's not being used, well, you're not making any money on mining at some point. That's part of it.
So using the network is helping keep it decentralized.
Yes.
I also wonder from the perspective of too is once these countries get big financial stakes in it, the incentive is, I can't ever say this word, incentivization to secure the network as well is probably going to be a big factor there. Not necessarily the fees as much, but making sure that no one gets that majority hash rate.
Right.
Because then I'm not an expert on the mining topic, but I believe then that's when you could pass certain things when you get past a certain threshold. So you got to keep that element of decentralization there to where no one gets 50+% of the hash rate.
Right. Or else they control the network, can do what they want with it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why I love those mini miners. I think the more that company, I want to say the main company is BitAxe that's making them. Yep, the more that they can get that product out there, the better, because Yeah, like there's miners that, have 60, 100, 200 terahashes, and those are big units, and they require a lot of power too. But, the common person, if there was a whole bunch of little mini ones running at every house or, just piece of equipment that they can plug into, because that thing only draws like 10 to 20 watts. That's like charging your cell phone.
All right.
And I think, collectively as a whole bunch of common people, that would bring this element of decentralization there that can offset anything that like some of the big players might try to do. So I think the more they can commercialize that and get those in the hands of people, it could be a big factor.
Yeah. It could like help with the problem, and then again, right? Like, how much are those bit axes on a Block 9? They're like what? They're affordable.
So I have an affiliate link there, and that goes to a business called Solo Satoshi.
Okay.
And last I saw, they were charging $169 per mini miner.
And then what's the upside? 3 point something Bitcoin.
So it very, with that small of a unit, it's it's like a lottery. But you get, I want to say mine was doing like 1 to 1.2 terahash. So the probability is very, very low. But people have done it before. And what's cool about it, I actually bought a second one, and I posted a video. There's this feature called Swarm, to where you can, pair your two miners together. So then that hash. But as I was reading more into it, though, there's this thing called pooling hash, is where like the hash power is working together. The Swarm feature is more like just to have visibility across all yours. But still, it's hash rate that's dedicated to whatever wallet that you assign to them.
You can take that hash rate and then go participate in two different pools, right? Like with your hash rate, is there something like a decentralized pool that you could place your hash in?
So with mining, you can like point your miners towards other big pools.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, and a lot of them, I'm sure each company has like a different mechanism, but the incentive with pointing towards a big pool is there's a higher probability that they're actually going to mine a block. And then whenever they do get a block and they get that BTC reward, which is like 3.25 or 3.15, they split it across, but you are getting paid out per, I think, the amount of hash that you dedicated towards that pool.
So it's better just to run it by yourself, two separate ones, and then maybe play it as the lottery, or else you're just using energy and not really getting. I mean, you're getting some Bitcoin. At least you're getting some, and I believe that sats are they're not going to always be this cheap. So here's a good question. What is the price of one sat? And I'm going to go around the room because we are getting to about an hour 10, hour 15. What is the highest price of one sat? And I'll go to you, Wagme. Where do you think one sat goes?
I'd have to do the math on it, but from what I understand, the math would be whatever the current trading price is divided by 100 million, and that's where you'll wind up with your one sat cost. But then again, like getting into the whole ordinals craze, there's people that sell sats because like you can actually acquire sats that were mined by Satoshi. Right. Like I have a big bag of them because I just think that's cool.
Me too.
And some of those like there's some sats that are like super rare. It's like the first of a halving cycle, which is every 4 years. Yeah, Legend. And those I think they've gone for like 30 G's. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then like the Block 9 sats, like those are the ones that Hal Finney, the first transfer, like there's all sorts of pizza sats. There's all sorts of desirable sats. So yeah, I think they're collectible. What about you, Jack? Like, what's $1 per sat? Like, do you think $1 per sat happens?
I mean, at that point, do we even still call them dollars? When that happens, I mean, we might have just gone to straight up monopoly money at that point.
Yeah, it's all trash.
but yeah, my answer was gonna be a lot along the lines of WAGMI. It depends on whether or not you're in the ordinals.
True. Yeah, man. What about you, Rosar? Do you like ordinals?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I honestly I don't know. Like, I have no idea how the timeline of prices anymore. Every time I try and think I know what's gonna happen, not the opposite, or something totally unexpected happens. But I'm bullish. Yeah, I'm a perma-bull, so higher.
Higher, says the builder in the room. Let's go. Like, he's deving and building all sorts of apps. You saw it. Guys, I'll go back around one more time. Any final thoughts, any closing statements, any final frequencies that we want to put out there to the ethos tonight on this lovely Thursday? And Jack, I'm going to shoot you first, sir.
Yeah, just keep paying attention. I think that we're early to a new meta, and being early is uncomfortable, as everybody here can attest to. But if you're looking at the signpost, you can see that you're directionally right, and you can see that things are getting exponentially more right. So just keep paying attention. Pay attention to who's building what. Pay attention to what the next narrative looks like it's going to be. I mean, look, 6-7 weeks ago, everyone was saying meme coins are dead. They're over there degenerating meme coins now for the past 3 days again, like on Solana, right? Like, don't pay attention to anytime someone makes an absolute statement in crypto. Just ignore it. If it comes to, oh, that's over, that's dead, this is dead. No, none of those things. What happens is things get, iterated on, they evolve, new narratives form, new metas form, and that's how it goes. And it looks like the Bitcoin L2 meta is alive and well. And if you're in stacks, you're very early to it, because we've had a big head start. So just pay attention. It's about to get fun.
Stay ahead of the curve like Jackman Switch. It's about to get fun again, baby. Let's go. I think that you're right, Jack. Memes are so not dead, and I'm doubling down as much as I can when I can. At any given moment, I see a good price. A SIP 10. I love me some SIP 10s, dude. Yeah, good stuff, man. WAGMI, I'll go to you next, brother. Any final closing thoughts? Any shameless shows, energy that you'd like to put into the room?
I'd echo what Jack said. Just keep watching. Being in the Stacks ecosystem since 2021, this is I would say this is probably the most exciting time over the course of that time. Watching what Rosar's doing with Blaze, watching Boost X, Hamilton being born out of the ecosystem on RWAs. All of the BTC Fi. I mean, and then the big announcement today with I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it Sui?
Sweet. Yep.
Sui?
Yep.
Sui. Now with that and SBTC, and not only do we have all this really awesome stuff happening, there's even stuff that's still in the pipe that hasn't come down yet. Like WASM's been being talked about for a long time, so they're building that in the background. It's like, and
here's what's cool. Like, I've heard some people who are very experienced in this space, who aren't in stacks, who are operating on some very old information about stacks. Like,
they're not even updated.
They don't even know, right? That's what's cool. That's what's cool when you see people who should know and they don't get it. They're not up to speed. And when you're talking about people with lots of money who like to finance things and build things, and they're just operating off of old information, that's a signal, I think.
Yeah, behind the curve there is what you call that, and you don't want to be behind the curve. Stay updated with DeOrganized. That's why you watch DeOrganized, right? Tell them, Jack. Thank you. And Rosar, like, you got anything to add to, like, what was just being spoken on, or any shameless shows, any final thoughts? Closing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have some, vision in where this space is going, and I'm excited about it too. Just wish I could do it full time and not be broke. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. But yeah, dude, I'm so excited. I wouldn't be doing this and creating all these problems for myself if I wasn't like super passionate about this space and think it's the next thing. So yeah,
Be different without all of this here, man. And like, dude, you're a base builder. You're killing it, dude.
thanks.
Yeah, I just wish I fucking had like a wad. I was like, here, fuck it, dude. Just keep building. I think we're all in the same predicament, dude. And like, I get it. Better times ahead. The calm before the storm, fellas. I hope that you have a very blessed rest of your night. And thank you so much for coming through and always supporting.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See you guys later.
See ya.
See ya.
And this has been another based episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars into the same room, have an awesome conversation about the alpha that is to be had, whether it's Bitcoin, world news, you name it, we're covering it. If you are a project and you're looking to come on to DeOrganized and talk about what you are building, please do reach out. You can follow us at DeOrganized BTC. That is DeOrganized BTC. Get in the know. Set up your profile on DeOrganized.media. Go visit the show schedule so you never miss a space or podcast that you love. And go support these base builders within the ecosystem like Rosar and Crypto Dude and Rafa, codename Satoshi, you name it. Get out there and do it, guys. We're all chipping away. Keep the frequency high. Keep loving the room. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.